Hello, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. I'm your host, RAYA HRISTOVA, Senior User Experience and Design Manager at Finastra. And this is one of the live meetups we're conducting during our Hackathon Hack to the Future. So this is our third hackathon, global hackathon, around this time the topic to honor the International Women's Day, and we choose to challenge. We choose to challenge bias. So it's about building an unbiased fintech future. You're still able to submit your idea or project on iwd.devpost.com. So you have until the 4th of April to learn more and submit your ideas. And with that, I want to pass it now over to Dorsaf, who will introduce herself. So we have Dorsaf today. Thank you for joining.
Hello, thank you. So my name is Dorsaf. I'm a software engineer at Finastra. I'm part of the user experience group, and I work on improving developer experience to simplify and accelerate building applications. So thank you for having me today.
Thank you, Dorsaf. And the topic today is about developing your prototype with Finastra Design System. So before we dive into the core of the topic, I would like to briefly put the context on what it takes, what is the process to design and build an application, whether it's for the hackathon or not. And here it's a framework that is called design thinking, and it's nothing more about but putting the user at the center of what you do. So to have your project successful, think of the problem and the challenge that you're solving. So have empathy for the end users. Find the challenge that you want to find a solution for first. And then quickly prototype on paper, on whiteboard, do some really rough sketches and test them with your team or with other users. So with that, once you have this phase finished, and we had previous meetups that were on finding your idea. So today it's about how can you build an application out of your idea? How can you prototype and come up with a high fidelity mock-up and even an implementation within the time frame for the submission on the project. So it's going to be a deep dive on the prototype phase, and again. Think of who your user is and what is the challenge that you're solving to make your successful project and submission for the hackathon. But speaking of challenges, there are a lot of also challenges that you might be facing as creator of an application or a solution, either as a designer, as a developer, or as a product manager who is following up on the implementation. And maybe you relate with one of these or most of them, but to be honest, participating in a hackathon, one of the biggest challenges is time. How can you produce something that is high quality, that is accessible, that is responsive? How can you save time to focus on solving the real challenge rather than spending time to design or to build the basics? So these are different challenges you may be facing. Maybe sometimes it's lack of inspiration. Where can I find inspiration that I can start using? So these are the challenges that we believe you might be facing right now. And we're today with Dorsaf to help you solve most of them. How are we going to do that? We're going to use Finastra Design System. It's an open source. It's open source, and just in a nutshell, a design system is a set of guidelines, best practices, reusable components, and patterns that you can use together, assemble together, a bit like Lego bricks, to build your application. So we'll be diving today into the customization and extending some patterns and sample applications. So the agenda is around 3 topics. So first, we're going to build a high fidelity prototype, see how can you get started and get you a bit of a hands-on session on extending a high fidelity sample. Then we're going to dive into the hacking of a sample app. So how can you code and implement your idea faster? Last but not least, one of the challenges is also white labeling, or how can I brand my application without redoing the same thing again and tailor it for a different customer need. So it might be in your case to better integrate with an existing solution, or you're targeting an existing customer, or just you want to integrate smoothly with the Finastra solutions. So these are the three topics, and I'm going to start first with building your high-fidelity prototype. All right. So my entry point is developer.fusionfabric.cloud. So this is our developer portal where most of you or some of you maybe have registered already to get free access to the sandbox where you can play with APIs and data sets for different business domains. But what we're going to be interested today is navigating from here to, so I'm going to click the design link, and this opens design.fusionfabric.cloud. So this is our design system that you can explore with different sets of guidelines. But let's go back to our use case. We want to find inspiration. So I'm going to start searching. So here I'm going to search, okay, what is there for use cases? So I see there are three sample apps or use cases, and I'm going to jump, I see the preview here. I'm going to click on this and start exploring what it is. So bear in mind, if there is a use case that is not related to your particular business need, so in this case, maybe it's not corporate banking, you can still use it as an inspiration for the dashboard layout or for the components that it contains. So you can find documentation, some interaction guidelines, etc. But what we're interested in is, okay, how can I get started hacking the design files? At the last section, I can see there is link to design resources. And this will bring you to the GitHub repo where you can find different file extensions. I recommend you to use the .xd because you can open it on any system and with a software that is free. So we're using Adobe XD. I'm going to now directly, I have already downloaded the file. So I'm going to jump directly into the application. I'm going to zoom a bit so you can all see what does it contain, right? And on this GitHub repo, you'll find other designer assets. You can download them, and if you're new to the tool, you can copy paste content and add it to your main file. Or if you're a more advanced user, there's a way to connect this as a library. So it's nothing more than being able to drag and drop components directly into my file. Okay, I like this layout, but I want to customize it a bit. I want to add another row of cards in here. So let me search. So you can search directly. In this case, I'm using the basic foundation UI elements that we have, that we're providing. And okay, so this card looks okay, but it's a bit too overcrowded. I'm going to get rid of this top section and just move it slightly like this and reorder. So, okay. So what can I do next? I want to have a clear call to action. So I'll get rid of those buttons and I'll choose maybe another one that is more prominent. So I'll take I'll take this, like a secondary color button. So we are using material design library behind the scenes. So these are material icons. So for example, if I type like favorite or the name of the icon, it appears directly. And I can change the text, submit your project. You see the button resizes directly, but what I want to do now is to, place it back within the card template. Maybe I'll choose a secondary action, which is going to be another button, but this time an outline button. So again, you have a small preview, and then you can drag and drop it. So I'm just going to drag and oops. Okay, I'm going to drag and drop it like this. It didn't show here. Okay, I'll come to it in a second. So I don't forget, I wanted to change the text. So it can be choose the challenge, and here, right here, I can also have access to the different styles. So if I type, for example, headlines or title, I do have access to that as well. That's what I'm gonna do now. Okay, I'm gonna choose the challenge. Okay, I'm going to check back as I just wanna have a secondary call to action. I'm still gonna try to drag and drop my secondary outline button. Okay, it worked for this one.
It's demo effect.
Yeah, it's not from lack of testing, by the way. And just so that we personalize it, we wanted to make it contextual. So think of, for example, your card, make it appealing, if you're offering something within a solution, you can use it as a placeholder to show visually your part of your app or the dashboard. A very nice and easy way here is to, if I do have other cards, I can also do something similar. Maybe I'll change and have other visuals. Right, so again, even if you're not like an expert user of the software, you can easily get around. So we want it to be not only for designers, but for everyone that has an idea to build it, right? Okay, so for this challenge or for this demo, we're going now to focus on the next steps. So I'm pretty happy because I have I made this more visual. I customized the card template, and I want now to focus and see. We want to show you the end-to-end user journey of designing and implementing an app. So let's focus just on this card. All right. I just want to try. I don't know what's in. Maybe I'll try another one. Yeah, well, this one worked. Maybe you want to learn more. Right, pretty simple. So now what we want to do next, how can I get this as a working prototype? And with this, I'm handing it now over to Dorsa. So we just showed how to find an asset, how to customize it, and now let's see how to hack a sample application.
Okay, thank you, Raya. So now that Raya finished prototyping her high-fidelity mockup, and as you can see, it was easy and fast to do that in certainly in a short time. So now I will try to do the same thing, but in code to implement this dashboard. And I have also the same constraint, which is the time constraint. So I will try to build this application quickly and have it ready on time for the hackathon. So I will go first to the website of Finastra, the design system website, as a starting point, as RAYA did exactly. And I will try to search for ready-to-use components and templates that may help me go faster in my development and also avoid like creating this app from scratch. So I will try to start with the corporate account services page like RAYA, and I will see that this application use the foundation of the Finastra, of the design system of Finastra, like colors, icons, typography, components also. And it also consumes two APIs of Ffdc, and so it's not only UI but also data with UI. So it's a real use case. And after that, so that there is, in addition to design resources that RAYA used in her high fidelity prototype, there is also the source code. So I will go and check this. And it brings me to the repository of this application on GitHub. So it's an open source application. The code is, everyone can have access to the code, and it's under the Fusion Fabric user. So this application is written in Node.js and Angular, and to be able to test it, you will just have to clone this repository and follow all the steps in the documentation. So here we have a demo of a preview of this application, so you can have an idea of how it looks like. And here is the instructions to be able to have this application work on your side. And the first step is to register your application on Ffdc. So what is Ffdc? Ffdc, it's Finastra Platform as a Service. It helps developers build application faster by letting them access to the APIs, and also help them publish the application to the store so that it will be visible to Finastra's customers, and why not, who would be like maybe interested in buying it. So to do that, you will need to have a Fusion Creator account. So if you have one, you will just have to, you can register immediately, but if you not, you will have to register first. So you have to choose these two APIs, and in the second step, it's a setup environment step. You will have to put the config from the first section, the first step, sorry, into your config. And after that, install dependencies, build your application, and start the server. So from my side, I did all these steps. So all I have to do now is to go and check the demo. So this is the application. You need to log in securely first, and you will have to use the username and the password that were mentioned in the documentation. And that's it. Now you have access to the account services dashboard. So as you can see, it's display the accounts of corporate users, and you have here global balance in dollar, and also the transactions filtered by date. We have also another widget, which is the currency converter. You can here play with amounts, convert one amount from one currency to another. Also exchange the currencies, and it is updated automatically. And in the second tab, you have here all the exchange rates of base currency. So you can here, for example, change the currency, and it is updated here. So this application is also responsive. So this is how it looks like on tablet and on mobile. You can here scroll to see more accounts, and you have here all the components. We have also this application available on dark theme. So by changing your system preferences, you will get this application on dark mode. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so now I will go to light theme. Okay, great. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing as Raya did for the high fidelity prototype. So I'm going to integrate the card component with the Hackathon advertisement. So to do that, I will go as usual to the website, and I will start with, we'll click on components because the card is a component. And now we go to cards. So here I have examples of cards which are business oriented. So it's about it's around banking, and I will use this one because Raya did the same thing. So I have here the code of this component. By the way, this component is an Angular component, so it uses also the Angular material and the theme of our design system. So here you have the HTML code, the TypeScript, the style, and you can here copy and paste it into your project, and you can play with that locally. But we have also another option, which is the possibility to edit this component in StackBlitz. So what is StackBlitz? StackBlitz, it's a live code editor in the browser. So all the dependencies you have all installed, so you don't have to install dependencies, etc. And all the code is available here, so you can start immediately coding and yeah. So here, if you change something in the code, it will be automatically updated. So it's very cool. And now I'm going to do the same thing as Raya, change this a little bit, this component. For example, here I have to change the image. So I will try to add the image here. You can put the URL of your image. Yes, okay. It was updated successfully. As you can see, it is very fast. And I will also change this this text. I will put, for example, register now, and here go and register to hack to the future, like that. And you can see that it is on the right time. Okay, so now I'm going to change a little bit the footer. I will try to put a button here, the two buttons that Raya did use it. And to do that, I will go to Design System website because the button is UI element. So I will go here in the UI elements to button. And in developer documentation, I will see that there is too many type of buttons available. So I will use these two for the first one, and we use the second one. I will put this instead of the icons. Okay. And for the second button, I will replace that by the first one. Up. Okay, and I will replace all this. Okay, so now I have the two buttons in the footer. So all I have to do now is to change the text. For example, here, learn more. And I will also remove this icon. And here I will say, for example, register now. Okay, so great. My component is ready, and all I have to do now is to share this link with Raya, because it's a shareable link, so that she can give me feedback and she can validate the design. And after that, I will go and copy all this code into my project. I will put it just after the header here. Also, we have the CSS to fix a width for this component. I will put here, for example, I will start my server and go here to localhost 1000 and log in as well. And as you can see, my component was added successfully to my dashboard. So it was very easy to do that, thanks to the Finastra Design System, thanks to the use case template, and also UI elements, components. So we provide you with all these building blocks so that you can focus on real problems without having to reinvent and to repeat the same thing every time you start a new project. Okay, so now my application is similar to what Raya did. So you are maybe asking yourself, how can I customize this application? How can I apply my brand colors to this application so that it will have the visual identity and the look and feel of my brand? So this will take us to a story that we have imagined of a customer who is interested in buying this application. He works in for the bank, EXG Bank, for example. It's our logo for the user experience group. And he would like to, he's asking if it would be possible to have this application EXG branded, meaning that with the UXG logo at the app bar and the colors of his brand. So the developer here recommend the customer to go and check the theme editor in Design System. So we will go now and see how it looks like and how to use that. It's here. It's just under the design and develop section. And as you can see here, we have the design guidelines. We have the light and dark theme, how it looks like, because our components, we have the light theme and dark theme by default. And in developer documentation, we have the custom theme, and here we can have access to the theme editor. So as you can see here, the Finastra theme editor allows you to create custom themes. So here we have the preview. It's like an application with the app bar and some elements and UI elements and components in the container. And here on the right, we have a code picker for each, for primaries, accent, and mode color. So I will try to play with these colors. So I will choose the blue color for the primary, because the UXG team, the UXG logo, we have the blue color and a red color, but a light one, like this, for example. And as you can see, it is automatically updated here, and you can have now, you can imagine how your application will looks like when you apply your color brand on our components and UI elements. So all you have to do now is to export the theme. So you have three options. The first one is in terms of CSS variables that you put into your style file. And it is recommended for users who use the Finastra Design System. We have the metadata if you're not using the Finastra Design System. And the URL, you can share that with your team so that they can give you feedback about the result. Okay, so for my side, I'm going to use the CSS variables. So I will copy this, it is copied automatically, and I will go to my style file. I will copy this into my body, and I will delete this because we're already in the body. And okay, and now I'm going to start the server and go to localhost, login again. And as you can see, the application is now branded with the color of UXG, but this is how it looks like. And I know that maybe now you're asking yourself how I still have this Finastra logo here. I need to have the UXG logo.
I was about to ask you, yeah, Dorsa.
Sorry?
I was about to ask you, how can we change now the logo? So
yes, it's possible to do that because the logo is also a CSS variable as for the colors. And here, for example, just to have an idea, here you have the CSS variable for the logo, and you have here the URL of your logo. So it will be possible to do that from in your code. So all I have to do now is to go in my code and put this here, right? And I will put my logo here, the URL of my logo, and go and check. Okay, and that's it. The the logo has updated successfully, and now we have an application which is branded UXG. So it's great.
and also available both as light and dark theme as well.
Yes, I forgot about it.
So
Okay, so I will also show you the result on dark theme. Also, it's pretty, and yeah.
Especially when you have to work late hours or you're spending all your day in front of the computer, people more and more prefer, and sometimes you may prefer to switch to dark mode because of eye strain.
Yes, it's more comfortable.
More comfortable.
So so now we have an application, like a user-friendly application, because it is available on light theme, on dark theme. It's responsive, and also you have it with the color of your brand, so you can customize it. And it's AA compliant, so accessible by default. And now we come to the end of this prototyping phase, and I would like to add that we provide all this for you. It's for free, and so that you can start immediately hacking, and it will also improve your. It will help you improve the user experience of your application also. So yes.
Thank you, Doris.
Now I will pass it over to Raya to give
this was
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was really quick. I mean, of course, we're using a template that already exists, right? But still, you can mix and match part of the cards, and you can explore there even more of those components. You can start exploring and combining together. So
Yes,
it's really, yeah. I have just a quick slide to recap what you just saw. So the three takeaways. Well, I would say with the high fidelity prototype assets, what we want to provide you is to, well, gain in speed. That is the number one. Really, we want you to be able to scale, move faster. Once you have your idea ready, have the quality straight away, and the accessibility, of course, and the consistency. Because if you use templates or sample apps that you combine together, they still share the same navigation, the same way to interact. So it's easier, for example, from an end user perspective, again, to to navigate and to find that it's a consistent user experience. So we actually don't focus on the basics again. You gain in time, quality, speed. Dorsaf, with what you shared, we saw that there is a ready-to-use sample app. So it's a web app. It's not a native mobile application, but it's accessible, responsive as well. So it can, as Dorsaf you demoed, it adapts to the size of your device or your browser, and it's easy to extend and customize. So this is really, I think, the playfulness is what I like. What you showed the Dorsaf is that you can very easily tweak and adapt, of course, to the data you want to show, to the final look and feel of your application. And this was the third point, really, how can you, if you don't want to make it Finastra branded, you can still use the Finastra Design System, but to adapt to your particular brand with the primary color, so and the logo, which is for us, we consider this is enough to give this impact. And for a hackathon project, it will give you this, this boost to accelerate the prototyping and development phase. So that is really what we wanted to demo today as a key takeaways. Of course, there are more. There is also another sample app that is also using behind the scenes Fusion Fabric.cloud APIs as well. We didn't have time to show everything, of course, but the principle is the same. So feel free to access on design. So I'm putting this for you to either scan or just to recall the URL that Dorsaf was sharing. So on the design.fusionfabric.cloud, you'll get the access to also the GitHub repo, and you have the sample apps that it's easy to clone and fork and start hacking. We wish everyone, of course, good luck for submitting your projects. We hope that this was inspiring and gave you some ideas on how you can build user-friendly user experiences that also, again, our mission is to challenge, to build an unbiased fintech future. And we hope this is going to help us get there a bit faster. And what else? I wanted also to thank you, everyone, for your time, for joining this live event. If you want to stay connected, because I know there are other maybe topics that we weren't able to cover. So if the subject is something you want to dive deep into, have follow-up questions, you can feel free to contact Dorsaf or myself through our LinkedIn profiles. And also on the GitHub repo, if you feel like submitting a GitHub issue or contributing back or sharing with us what you have built with the design system, we'll be more than happy to see the results. So, Dorsaf,
yes. According to concerning our GitHub, if you are, for example, if you need something, you can request that. If you also want to contribute, it's open for everyone. And we shared with you the Fusion Fabric GitHub. On it, you can find the Finastra Design System, where you can find all our components and our theme also. And this is what I want to say.
So you have, by the way, in the comments, check also the link in the comments,
yes,
where you have the rest of the sample apps and the GitHub repo. And I hope this, again, thank you very much for your time. We were really, with Dorsaf, enjoyed to share this with all of you.
Yes. So I'm happy to share all this content with you, and hope you enjoy it. And
Good luck.
Give us your feedback.
So thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.